I'm gonna be straight with you. I'm very tired. With video games constantly getting pumped out year after year, we were sure to see some improvements with each game with each year to come. At least that's what we hoped. Sweet Jesus Christ. Anything can come into consideration when it comes to what exactly is being improved. We have the graphics, the way the game actually plays, and the most important one, the box art. Oh yeah, and the music, don't forget about that one. Seriously, music can convey very powerful feelings depending on the way they're composed. It can make you feel happy, scared, angry, sad even. Or in some occasions like a bad... I can't say that, can I? Bad donkey. You get my point. Where that feeling of being edgy and cool is usually shown isn't that of boss battles. You know, the moment in most games where some or hell, maybe even most of your skills and knowledge of the game are put to the test. And now that may be cool and all, but today we're going to ignore how the boss actually plays and focus more on its music. Hint hint, the title. So despite not knowing anything about music theory in the slightest, despite being able to play the piano, these are my top 10 favorite boss battle themes of all time. Before we begin, I have a few rules for this list. Number 1. This list is my opinion and my opinion only. Nothing here is fact. So, if I happen to forget a track which you personally think belonged, don't get mad at me about it. You can, however, be civilized and post your own list in the comments below. Number 2. This is more of a personal note, but this isn't just music based on the last decade. I would have done so, but there are a few boss tracks that I really like, however, it didn't come out last decade. So I had to change how the list would work. Rule number 3. I'm judging the music mostly on how it conveys the boss to the fullest, and how much I like it. So, in most occasions, the boss might be pretty weak, while the music is a hecking bop. And for the 4th and the final rule, it can't be music from any games I haven't played, or haven't played much of, since I won't be able to convey my honest feelings and opinions about it. So sorry Persona 5 fans.
Robert.
Rivers in the Desert or any other boss theme in the game won't appear in this list. Also, spoilers for some games, don't forget that. Now, without further ado, let's get into the list. This song in particular is almost the reason why I had to make the rules in the first place. This is more specifically with the rule number 3, in which the battle itself is kind of underwhelming, while the music is just great. Marnie as a character / rival is kind of interesting. By the way she dresses, you would assume that she's an edgy, cool kid who thinks she's too cool for school. Yeah! Well, no. That would go to bait 8, but we don't talk about him. His music is just as great though. Anyway, Marnie is an absolute sweetheart, and with her pink dress under her black leather jacket, we can see that. The theme fits perfectly, as the song is trying to sound grand and exciting, all the while it manages to be comforting in some sections of the song. Here, take a listen. So yeah, Marnie's theme for number 10. This song's a bit intense sounding for a kid's game. Oh! However, it makes sense in the context of the game. After finally defeating Bowser that,
long-time bad guy,
like you always do, Kamek, that dumb piece of poo-poo, decides to, you know, make him huge. This isn't the first time he's done it, but whatever. Anyway, the music is intense for a reason, as you are being chased and without any option, you run. The song is meant to give you that adrenaline rush as you're being chased for your life, and it absolutely works. It gives a good representation of fear in a way. Plus, the ominous vocals you could hear in the foreground also helps build up the tension. Anyway, that's Bowser's theme, Phase 2. Following the trend of being a second phase, we have Title Rush from the final boss in Splatoon 2. More specifically, Phase 2 of the final boss in Splatoon 2. I said 2 too many times. 2. Although Phase 3 has a more climactic gameplay style compared to Phase 2, its music is basically just a rehash of the final boss of the first Splatoon. Plus, the way it changes from Phase 1 song into Title Rush is very effing cool. Like, its transition is just so on point, it's incredible. And yes, I am aware of the final boss of the Octo expansion, and its song is incredibly better. But I haven't purchased it at all, and I haven't played it, so yeah. Probably my bad. Title Rush from Splatoon 2. At number 7, we got Mean Bean from Sonic Mania. This song placement is kind of biased, mostly because I have a soft spot for this remix. Mostly because when I was growing up, I used to own Sonic's Mega Collection Plus, and let me tell you, out of all the games I adored in that collection, it wasn't any of the classic Sonic titles. Sure, I played them here and then, but the one I played the most was the Puyo Puyo reskin, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. This was my childhood. Seriously, even if I had no friends over, I would just go into the game and play. Even if I wasn't playing, I would just bop to the music because the entire soundtrack to that game is amazing. Especially the multiplayer match theme song, which is exactly the main boss battle theme for this particular, boss. And another fun fact is that theme is actually Satan's theme from the main Puyo Puyo franchise or game series. And they remixed his theme into the multiplayer aspect of the game. And then they got the multiplayer theme and put it into the Sonic Mania boss battle, which I absolutely love how they remixed this song 2 separate times. And you have no idea how excited I was when I first played this game and I encountered this boss battle. Like, my nostalgia factor or my nostalgia level just went across the roof or across the room. It was magical. If it weren't for the fact that this one's only nostalgia based, it would have been number 1. But alas, it was not, and is why it's number 7. It's not that high up on the list, but I still wanted to mention it at least once. So anyway, moving on. So there's this little indie game I like. Not sure if you've heard of it, but it's called Undertale, and let me tell you, many of those tracks from the game are great, especially the boss battle theme. Man, they all slap! But only one really stuck with me to this day. And that is back... No! Stop it! Be gone from this realm, you! Jeez, that guy. He funny, man. He funny, but man, is he everywhere. Anyway, the one song that stuck with me for as long as it did was A Battle Against a True Hero. In the genocide route of Undertale, you are the villain. And for those who don't know,
and if you don't, well, holy damn, how have you gone this long without spoilers? Jesus Christ.
Undertale is a game where you don't have to kill anything. Far from that. Most of the time, the game encourages you to befriend all the monsters you encounter. But of course, with that fight option right below in the battle menu, you can just kill them. After nearly killing the kid, one of the characters, Undyne, which you can befriend in the pacifist route, jumps in and gets struck down. After a long speech of having the strength of all the faith of the monsters in the underground, she then changes into a second form. And then, this is the piece that starts playing. See, the reason for why this one stuck out in particular is because you are now at a certain point where you have completely turned into a monster. A monster that is more villainous than any of the monsters in the underground. And that this fight completely shows you that. Track playing isn't meant to hype you up. It isn't meant to inspire you to keep fighting. No, this song isn't for you. It's for her. And for all the monsters you have slain up to this point. I know Megalovania is energetic bop that you could listen to unironically sometimes, but this song has way more meaning to it, and it's more expressive to what the game wants you to feel. Especially since once you strike her down, you, the player, will probably feel bad for it. Which is exactly why I love this track in particular. And which is why I chose this track from Undertale. Okay, heads up. I've heard that Floor Fury can now get copyright, and I don't want to get copyright striked. So enjoy this a cappella rendition of the song. I hope you enjoy it. All of Cuphead's music is good. I love each piece. But to be honest, Floral Fury's melody was the one that stuck out with me for a while. I mean, hell, they ended up putting it into Smash along with the Cuphead skin. So, that must tell you something. It's just so funk! It makes me want to dance! But I won't, because I don't want anyone to see that. Okay, bye. Plus, it just suits the character of Cagney. The way he dances during the battle, it's all around great stuff. This one's kind of a cheat since we don't really have that much story behind, Cagney as a character. But with the Netflix show around the corner, I'm pretty sure we could get something out of that. And hopefully, the music will go along with Cagney's character as a whole. This is kind of a cheat, I know. I don't care, this is my list. Shut up. Like Undertale before it, any track from Hollow Knight would have worked. It's just that good. But if I had to choose one, I'd go with one of the side bosses. The Nosq. This thing is just terrifying. Like Undertale before it, any track from Hollow Knight would have worked. It's just that good. But if I had to choose one, I'd go with one of the side bosses. The Nosq. This thing is just terrifying. From the moment you enter its root in the Deep Nest, an already unsettling place, to the moment you discover a duplicate of yourself, it's just unsettling, like something out of a horror movie. It's just unsettling. And it doesn't help that the Nosq's nest is filled to the brim with corpses of other victims. And what doesn't help it even more is its transformation into its true form. Jeebus! The boss on itself is unsettling enough, and the music just adds more uneasiness to it all. And I appreciate that. However, the creepiness factor of it all is lost after you realize how much bullcrap is in this goddamn boss. What? NANI?!
Well, we better figure something out, and pronto.
Maybe that button on his back is a self-destruct. I'll try to hit it.
Good idea, SpongeBob, but it's time to stop yapping and get to it.
Yikes! Looks like SpongeBob's in for a rough ride.
This one I mentioned briefly in the Battle for Bikini Bottom review. But this one's also mostly based on nostalgia, but I had more time with this game than I did with Sonic. So it makes more sense. And as I mentioned, Battle for Bikini Bottom was a fantastic game, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. Cat 4 sucks, whatever. On to the soundtrack. The original tracks for this game, as I mentioned again, is amazing. It had no right to be this good. Oh, and they ended up reusing these songs in Truth or Square. God damn it. Anyway, Industrial Park. Industrial Park as a whole sounds eerie, and I guess it makes sense in the concept of the boss. Not only are you SpongeBob seeing your friend turn into this giant scary monster, but you're also in the middle of Industrial Park, and the way they designed it in game is absolutely horrifying. It looks like something that you'd probably not want to walk into at night, and it fits perfectly. And I think I may just be overlooking it since it's just a SpongeBob game, but still. And Robot Patrick is no nice robot. The music can stand out of place with tracks like this, but then again, it is my list, so shut up. Anyway, I want to point out quickly that I prefer how Robot Patrick looks in the old game. I feel like he looks a bit more cartoony looking in the remake, but that's just my opinion. However, I do appreciate the fact that Rehydrated not only put every single song in stereo, but they also added extra instruments into the Robot Patrick Industrial Park track, along with every other track in the game, which I really appreciate. It's all around great stuff. Spoilers for Infamous Second Son up ahead.
No, I'm gonna expose you.
Wow. Infamous was already doing exposing before exposing. Ain't that just kooky?
I can't let you do that.
And I won't let you stop me.
Anyway, this game is probably my favorite PS4 game of all time. I absolutely adore the Infamous series. The first one was absolutely great, although I felt the lackluster with its choices. The second one, Infamous 2, and that was a great game. Great story, a somber yet good ending, and an incredibly evil ending, but I won't spoil in this video. So when Infamous Second Son was announced, I was beyond excited. But then I realized I only had a PS3 at the time, so damn it! Anyway, after 2 years, I finally got a PS4 from my dad. He got it for me and himself, since he plays a lot of FIFA, it only made sense. Anyway, you could guess what my first game I got. It was Dungeon Defenders 2! Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, to my dismay, I had to spend the first few months playing free-to-play games and God of War for 2, which I got from a friend. It's not that bad, but nah, it could have been worse. But, one fateful day, I went to Target, or wait, was it Target? No, wait, what? I found it at Walmart, and bought it for a nice cheap price of $20! I am kind of happy that I waited, so I didn't pay full price for it. Anyway, yeah. Boss battle theme. It is incredible. More specifically, the final boss, Phase 1. Seriously, this entire game, you're having your life on the line because that big beeswax of a person, Augustine, hey, screw you! And, well, he ends up killing your brother, Reggie. The entire game has been building up to this moment. Whether you're good or, as the title says it, infamous. You just want to give Augustine what's coming to her. I mean, boss tried. But man, that music is so great. More specifically, Phase 1. Because Phase 2, it's alright. But I guess what ruined it for me, Phase 2, is that it's more pathetic. You can literally just stand in the corner and shoot at it from afar, get no damage taken. And I know that wasn't any of the points I mentioned in my rules, but it's just so pathetic, and the music is not as good as the first phase, so I don't care for it. Now, before we get on number 1, you gotta remember, it's still my opinion. You can't take any opinions from this guy, because this guy is stupid. And yeah, this is coming from the guy who prefers pizza with a little side of ketchup. So either way, take it with a pinch of salt. I mean, come on. DDD's my boy, my main man, my freaking king maven. That's just a stretch, maybe. Not only is this man so heckin' cool, I mean, look at that. What? A jet skis, it's so cool. But Jesus, this team is so cool despite how extremely easy this boss is. With that in mind, one question is remaining. When will Sakurai put this track in Smash already? Now that we got done with this list, probably one of my longest videos ever, and the most tiring to edit ever, Robert, you okay there, bucko? Robert, crap. Okay, fine. As an honorable mention, Rivers in the Desert, because I don't want Robert to Yeah! Whoa! In all reality, I only did that so he didn't blow something up or whatnot. I mean, who knew what could have happened if I didn't? I expected worse.